Good evening. Welcome to Two Local Radio. This is Ray Ray. Alongside of me, my new guest host. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Going on, everybody? Is Beef in the house?
All right. And today we have none other than the phenomenal, the extraordinary, the man, the myth, the legend from Bridgeport, Connecticut, Sinergyst. Why don't you say hi?
Yeah, what up?
Going on, Sin?
What's going on? How you guys doing tonight?
Doing wonderful. Yourself?
I'm doing great, man. Just got finished eating. Had some wings tonight. Now just time to relax. What y'all doing?
So, here's the first question I have. For the longest time, we've been looking for that CT artist that's just going to break the, field of this imaginary map.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel you're that artist?
You can never really tell, but I'll tell you this. If I can say I am, then I am. I'm my own artist. I'm not trying to step in anyone else's spotlight, not trying to follow anybody else's wave, just trying to do my own thing and give as much good music as I can to everybody I can. In all reality, nobody's a local artist. You're only local in your own town that you're coming from. Everyone's an artist. But to get out of Connecticut and just to break in the national spotlight, that's my goal, and I think I'm going to get there very shortly.
Well, I mean,
now, what was your biggest inspiration? What led you in to want to start writing and get into this field?
Oh man, I've always been creative since I was little. I've always wrote poems, and I was rhyming when I was really, really little, and I never really took it seriously. And then one day, one of my friends just came to my house with some type of recorder, and we ended up doing something, and a couple other people got a hold of it, and they're like, "Yo, this is really, really cool. You should actually, do music." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I didn't really think of anything because in that time, everybody was popping. It was just the music industry was crazy. And I don't even think MySpace was out. It was maybe just popping. And so we ended up doing a mixtape, and my mother took my mixtape and sold 3,000 copies of it by herself.
Wow, man, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, from there I built a studio, and then we just started actually taking it serious from there.
All right, now from what I've been reading and hearing, you performed with Bobby Valentino, Afroman, Fabolous, D Block, French Montana, and some others. Is that true?
Oh yeah.
All right, so what was it like
Joe
to perform
Budden,
with Jada?
French Montana, Huey Mack. I just got finished doing a show with the Axe Murder Boys from ICP. That place was crazy. Yeah, a different vibe from everybody. I think the best show that I've done, though, the best person to work with and to do a show with was Afroman. I think that was probably one of my favorite shows that I did.
So did you get to, meet and perform with Jadakiss, or what members of D Block did you work with?
Actually, I performed with Styles P and Jadakiss. I didn't perform with Jadakiss, but I've hung out with Jadakiss a couple times.
Wow. So what, everybody, that's never, got a chance to hang out with Jada would like to know, what is he like to hang out with?
He's cool. He's really chill. He doesn't really talk that much, but he smokes a lot, and he's just chill. He's a cool person. He's a good vibe, you know what I mean? He's just it's nothing really. Everybody thinks of artists and, people that you don't get to meet as up on a pedestal, but everyone's just regular people, they're just like you and me.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
Now, at what point in all of this did you feel like you were able to break into the next level where you're at right now?
Let's see. I have a couple points. I think the first time I actually heard myself on the radio and got on the radio was a stepping point for me. I was on 93.7. Shout out to my boy G Money the Prince, and That's a big radio station in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and I did a radio interview there. So that was the first stepping stone for me. And then getting my music video on MTV Jams, that was a stepping stone. And I think the latest one was becoming a Vivo artist. I think that was a stepping stone for me.
All right.
I know that a lot of people in your position, especially writers, and I've got a lot of friends that are musicians, and we use different aspects of our lives and where we came from and growing up, as our influence and what's going on in our lives, as our influence as far as is how we write our music. But as far as, your type of rap, your type of beats, things of that nature, what do you think some of your larger influences are that help you kind of direct your sound or help you find your sound or find what direction you're trying to go in?
Well, I like a lot of inspirational type music. I like stuff that other people can really relate to, not like the typical, down south or trap music or anything like that. I like stuff that you can hear, and it ranges from a different genre of people, all the way from ages 16 to ages 50. I don't like to just try to hit one type of demographic. I like it to be a general purpose song for a lot of people. So I try to catch everybody with a lot of inspirational type stuff. Yeah, I have some hard stuff for, different type of people and some up-tempo pop stuff, but my general stuff is really inspirational.
What I want to know is, I see that you're a part of an indie label. What made you want to go the indie route rather than going the mainstream as far as labels?
It's tough. I pretty much started the label with 4 other people as a way to help me out too. So the label just grew on me, and it's been basically a backbone of my career. It's a lot better to have the label hit up a manager or hit up a radio station than to call as an artist and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm an artist. Can you play this for me?" Or, "How you doing? My name is so-and-so from Fortified Records. We have an artist," and, we go from there. You got to keep everything really professional. So to start, it was really good as an indie label. Our goal is for us to get picked up by a major label, try to get undersigned as a, take the indie label to the major label if we don't get picked up. But you make more money as an independent artist as long as you do it the right way.
Yeah, I think nowadays you do. I mean, because the labels want to take this and take that and take your creativity as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now, the only way you're really getting assigned to a major label is if you already made it. You know what I mean? And by the time, if a major label would hit me up, I wouldn't need them. Like, the only reason why they're hitting you up is because you have 5 million views on YouTube. You've already done 3 tours selling merchandise. What do you need the label for? Yeah, they're going to give you some more national spotlight, but you're already making more money than you would make on the label.
There you go. And sometimes, it's about making that money. So, why don't you describe how your music's changed since your debut of The Struggle?
Oh, jeez. I don't even like my first mixtape or my first album. If any of my friends ask me about it, or people are like, "Hey, can I get a copy of The Catalyst?" The Catalyst was my first album that's actually in stores. I don't even like it. I'd rather give them my latest mixtape and my latest single. Just the way that I deliver, the way that I've grown in vocabulary and the different type of genre of music, it's totally different. Even my sound is different. But I think everyone grows from... go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, everyone grows from the first time that they actually lay it on track to, their last song. And even, every song that you do is a stepping stone into something better and better and better.
Now, being that you feel that way, about your album, I've talked to a lot of people in the past, and would you consider yourself one of those artists that once you build something, once you build your album, you don't look back on it. You take it, you put it in the closet, you don't turn on the radio, and you just go ahead and look forward at the next project that you're working on? Would you say that you're one of those types?
All right.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's breaking up a little.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I heard most of it, but I always move forward. You got to move forward in this industry. You can't be stuck in the past. But when you're doing an album, you still have to promote that album, regardless of, it took you 6 months to make it. You've listened to every song 300,000 times. You got to listen to it more. You got to promote it more. And even after you promote it for 6 months to a year and it dies out, you got to go back and promote it again for another 6 months. Even sometimes records don't break in a year. If it doesn't break in a year, it could break a year from then. So you never know. Some of these, even the new songs that come out in the mainstream market, they've been out for a while. It's just they haven't broken yet. That's why you're now starting to hear it.
Would you say that you faced a lot of diversity coming from Connecticut, the state of haters? I'm originally from Waste Haven, Connecticut, so I know all about it.
You're 100% right with that. I'm not going to knock my own, but Connecticut is very, very, very difficult in this music industry. You don't get that much support, and when you do get support, they're hella supporters, but it's sad to say. Anywhere I go outside of Connecticut, it's crazy. But in my own hometown, it's nowhere compared. But I think what happens is, once you really, really make it outside and you come back to your hometown, then they start picking up. I mean, I think sometimes that goes for everybody, but it's really weird. It's sad to say, but
and it's pretty interesting. Concept, and I've heard a lot about up in Connecticut being that way, but I think there's a lot of states, you come from, and I had somebody tell me a long time ago, sometimes in order for people to appreciate you for who you are, you have to leave the nest and come back.
Yep.
And with that, with that being said, it's pretty interesting how that works out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're doing a tour. It's called the Faded Tour. We got that coming up in the fall, and we're not even doing a show in Connecticut. We're doing the whole East Coast except for Connecticut. We might hit Connecticut on the way back, but I think we're going to skip it. And as far as that goes, we're trying to get as many colleges and off-college campus venues on this tour. It's going to be called the Faded Tour. Follow all dreams every day.
I don't blame you, because in Connecticut, I've said this numerous times on shows, not to take your spotlight in any way, but I've just noticed there's so much effort at people hating on you in Connecticut. It's not even funny. It's like if everybody put their creative skills together, there's a lot of talent out there, and there are people that are working on, trying to bring Connecticut up as a whole. But you're just going to keep on having haters. Now, with that being said, how is your response coming from, bigger outlets like New York, like Jersey, like Philly, like down south? What kind of response are you getting from people?
Rhode Island, we had 3,000 people show up to the show with me and Bobby Valentino. We had 1,500 with me and Bobby V. 3,000 for me and Fabolous. Those were both one was in Providence, one was Rhode Island. New York, all the shows and venues are crazy. Down south, I haven't been performing down south. My next goal is to do a show. We're doing a show in Florida and Atlanta. We got a couple shows coming up, but I've been getting a lot of feedback from fans on my fan page from down south and from the Midwest. So, we're trying to hit where we're getting, a lot of responses from.
All right, now say that somebody knew a talented artist, or like extremely talented. How would they, get in touch with you to, submit something? Considering you are on an indie label and you're probably, looking for as much as you can get to, be like, all right, we're here, but now we're gonna knock your door down.
I'm willing to collab with any artist. I think it's a really big part of the game to network and to get out there and to work with as many people as you can and never burn bridges, be as humble as you can. You can go on my website, Sinergyst.com. It's Sinergyst. So Sinergyst.com, and right on there you can, and my manager's information is there. You can send him an email and go from there.
All right, so what is your favorite song you've done till date, and why?
My favorite song I've done to date? Probably one of the new ones. I don't know what my manager sent you, but I just did a song. I just did a song called "Let It Go," and that's probably one of my favorite ones. It's kind of like a mix between something Eminem would do. We originally I was working with my producer, PD3, for this track, and we were coming up with something that we thought Eminem might use because he was working with Eminem's manager on pitching him a beat. So he wanted me to write something for him. So I came up with something, and then, when we came up with it, my producer was like, dude, you need this song. You need to do it. And of course, I was already into the song. I was already invested time and emotions for writing it. So he was like, "Dude, just take it." So then I went off with the song, and I think that's probably one of my favorite ones.
All right, well, we're going to give you a breather real quick, and we're actually going to hear "Let It Go," and we'll be right to what I want to do, and be like, well, hey, I want to be the brown breaking star, out of Connecticut to actually make it.
I never really thought about it until I had my daughter, and then once I had my daughter, I realized, doing what I'm doing for the love of it isn't just going to cut it. If I was turning this into a career, I'm going to have to really go full throttle and, get to a point where it's just, unstopping me. So there's nothing stopping me. I just needed to take it to the next level, and I think my daughter really opened up my eyes for that.
That's absolutely awesome.
At a dining room table with my friend Danny, and this is when we were actually coming up with names. So I used something called synergy. Synergy means when you put two things together, it forms something greater. Like, just say you mix two chemicals together and you use it on something, it's better than just that one chemical. So basically, I turned synergy into a noun, made it synergist, and if you put me and music together, it forms something greater.
Oh, there you go. You're an own element.
That was the game plan, yeah.
So
try to be different, try to be unique.
So what could we see Sinergyst? What could we see you doing on a day of just relaxing? Where would you be?
Where would I be? I'm at the studio 90% of the time. When I'm not at the studio, I'm with my daughter, and we're just having fun everywhere. And you can catch me at the parks, at Hooters for all-you-can-eat wing night. What else? Anything that's, going around Connecticut, we're always there too. We like doing, charity events and stuff too. We did the Relay for Life for the past couple years. So we're always at different fundraisers, and, that's relaxing for me. But otherwise, I'm in the studio, and when even in the studio, we're just chilling. When I'm not making music, playing Call of Duty.
There you go. So
now, what would you say, with your music and stuff? And I and as you're saying now, I mean, your biggest inspiration, your biggest motivation is your daughter. With that being said, if you had to convey a message, let's say to the youth of our country or to the world, what kind of message are you trying to put out there?
To anybody listening, just follow your dreams. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. If you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have, anything that you're looking to achieve in life, no matter what it is, you can do it. You just have to set your mind to do it. The world will move for you. You're just, anything is like the air. You just move through it. So, just set your goals, set your dreams, and follow them. And eventually you'll do it if you set your mind to it.
That's awesome, man. That's real awesome.
Now, today's, hip-hop game and everything, you have the different kind of hip-hop artists or rappers. You have the ones that are writers, and you have ones that, can flow, on the spot, and then you have the battlers. What percentage do you feel is necessary in order to get beyond the local scene?
Well, in all reality, any one of those can get beyond a local scene. It all depends on how you go about, promoting yourself and obtaining fans and, following your fans, talking to your fans, and getting out there with your fans. I think, in all reality, a lyricist or, someone who's really spits a lot of punchlines, because, a punchline rapper and a lyricist, I think, are two different things. But I think they have more of an opportunity to make it more than a battle rapper or someone that's just doing battling. They can get to a certain place like URL, but in URL, I don't think you're going to become, national or super famous. Although you got Joe Budden, who's battling. What's his name? I'm connected to. Starts with I forgot, but Joe Budden's battling somebody from the URL, or actually I battle. He's a battler, and they got that coming up, and so you never know. This game, crazy.
All right, and besides the likes, from Reverb or Facebook or Twitter, do you feel that the internet has helped evolve your career, or it's in a way hindered it?
Yeah, social networking I think is key. It's definitely a plus to be able to reach out and talk to as many people as I can. And, I think without Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, a lot of people wouldn't know what to do or how to get their music out there. I'm sure I would have figured it out, but I definitely think it's a lot easier that way. That's why a lot of big-time labels, went under, and, they had to convert everything that they were doing to follow social media.
Okay, and tell us a time, because I'm sure on one of your tours there's a time that a fan came up and said, "Hey man, your music, it really impacted my life," or that song really touched my heart, and how it made you feel.
Yeah, we did a show for 400 kids at the Cabaret Theater in Bridgeport. It was a bunch of kids from different schools. And after myself, Elijah Richards, and Michael Bless, we did a Dare You to Dream tour where we were going into schools. But this one was a bunch of schools came to us for this one show. When we finished, it was probably those 400 kids were more live and more crazier than the 3,000 fans at the show with me and Fabolous. It was just, I'm talking roars with only 400 kids. And when I got done with the show, I mean, we got swarmed with kids that have heard us, that listened to our music before we got there. We didn't even know this, you know, and it was crazy. I mean, we spent 3 hours after the show signing autographs and talking to kids about, you know, them doing music and about our songs and how they can go about doing different things in life. It was really, it was a good experience.
The crazy part about that, man, and I think you got to agree that, you know, outside of anything else on the face of this earth, that's got to be about the most incredible high a person could possibly have.
Yeah, it's an adrenaline rush.
Oh yeah, man, that's wicked. That's wicked. You know, and you know, I've known Ray for a while now, and outside, you know, hanging with him, and he's, you know, allowed me to come in here and hang out with you tonight. You know, I'm a musician outside of doing this, and it's really crazy to hear you say that because, you know, I've been fortunate enough. You know, one of the, you know, we've got festivals and stuff down here that I've played for before, in you know, for a couple thousand people at a time. You know, but the craziest venue I ever played for was probably the first one. You know, and I sat in front of a group of my peers, 75 or 80 of my friends, and for them to stand up and clap, I mean, there's no better high than to feel the true appreciation from people that truly appreciate what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, yeah, man. Now, with that being said, you know, when you get out there, and I know you play your shows and stuff, but, you know, do you make it more of a point to do, you know, to do benefits, to set time aside to go out and be able to sponsor events like that and be able to be there?
Oh, yeah. You know, like I said, we did the Relay for Life. We do a lot of stuff for charity organizations. I've done Guns Down, Books Up, a lot of different stuff in Connecticut. I haven't been outside of Connecticut as far as, you know, different sponsors and charity events like that. I'd love to if I get booked to go out there, definitely. And, you know, I a lot of times for booking, you know, definitely stuff like that, all I ask for is travel expenses. But, yeah, I'd be there.
That's awesome.
That is phenomenal. And, you know, being a father, you know, I know your life has changed and whatnot, but do you kind of, you know, curtail, like, your words or the way you say things in front of, like, certain, you know, groups of kids now that you are a father?
Put the musical wrench on things.
You know, I try, but my daughter is, you know, just as crazy as I am, and, you know, she's in the studio with me. I did a song with her. It's on YouTube. It's called Monster, and, you know, she, for her first time ever, you know, she's 6, and she performed with me at my last show, and, dude, she got more cheers than I did. I was like, oh my God, she's crazy. She's 6 years old, and she's singing. She's pretty good, actually. But she's in the studio with me. She's going hard. You know, I think I'm going to turn her into something crazy. If it's something she wants to do. She likes doing it, so I don't force nothing on her. But, well, first of all, I'm a lyricist. I don't really do that whole punchline type deal or, you know, anything like that. I like using a lot of metaphors, and I like spitting fast, you know, kind of like a mix between Twista and Eminem, with Machine Gun Kelly and Macklemore. I don't know, put those in a blender.
There you go.
Something like that.
All right.
Now,
go ahead.
Now, would you consider yourself above all? Would you consider yourself, as you said, you know, you're a lyricist. So would you consider yourself above all a poet before anything?
Yeah, you know, I'm an artist, you know, not just as far as, you know, a musical artist, but just an artist, period. I like creating things, and I think anyone with a creative mind, you know, is an artist, and, you know, being a musician is artistry. So as long as you take it like that, you know, just, oh yeah, I'm a rapper, it's what I do, you know, I make a song and, you know, I'm a star. It doesn't work like that. You know, first and foremost, you know, you got to be an artist. You got to learn the business aspect of music, and then, you know, follow it. It's hard to describe, especially in one conversation, but you know, I think I'm an artist first and foremost.
Well, and the reason why I asked you first, you know, the reason why I asked the question is, would you know, the question I have is how much influence do you have over your beat? You know, are you sitting back one day, you know, you might be in the studio, decide, man, I got this real beat on my head, you know, get on the MIDI or whatever and start pushing it out? Or, you know, do you feel like your lyrics come first, or is it a mixture 50-50? Or, you know, what's your process? How do you usually work through trying to put together a new song?
That's a good question. This is how I do it. I never have, like, I don't write stuff anymore. I don't have, like, a whole bunch of just books and then we go match stuff up. No. What I do is, you know, I sit down with my producer and he just starts getting creative. And then from there, you know, we just take, you know, it to the next level. Beat by beat, drum by drum, kick by kick, lead by lead, and, you know, instruments. And, you know, if we have to bring different players in to play different instruments and stuff. But a lot of times my producers are just insane. So as they're creating, a million things just start coming through my head, and it's very easy for me to write when I'm working with somebody great. So, you know, definitely my two producers that are by far phenomenal, you know, PD3 and FDX, there's probably nothing that they've made for me that it didn't just, like, catch right away, and I haven't, you know, just picked up the pen and started flowing.
Right.
When you're working with great people that know your style and that are able to just create something that is easy to do, I think that process is just, you know, it's real fun for me.
Now, I got one more question for you. And, you know, if you honestly had the option and you were going to get out and play a show, would you rather prefer to have a live band behind you, or somebody like a DJ that's throwing your beats, or a combination of the both of them?
I would love a live band and a DJ. That's actually our next step. My manager was talking to me about it. We already have a DJ that comes with us to do, you know, the tours and stuff. But a live band is going to make it a lot more crazier. You know, my boy PD3, actually, he's a drummer, and he was going to do the next show with me, just being, you know, a drummer to drum on different things. You know, just that aspect would liven up the whole crew. But definitely a live band performing makes the show a million times better, I think.
I definitely have to agree. I have to agree 100%.
Yeah.
All right, so what does today's hip-hop mean to you? Like, how would you describe today's hip-hop from the old school, and what's your role in it?
Today's hip-hop. You know, everybody says today's hip-hop is dead and it's nothing like it used to be. You know, in all reality, it's just because new artists are coming and everyone has to adjust to the way that the new artists and new fans are liking the new artists. So you just have to adjust yourself and be true to yourself at the same time to follow in the mainstream market if you want to be in the mainstream market. You know, hip-hop is hip-hop. It's always going to be hip-hop. And, you know, where you are is going to determine what people listen to. You know, let's just say down south people, when they hear something from the East Coast, their ears brighten up because it's something that they don't hear. You know, when we're on the East Coast and we hear something that's down south, like that's trending now up here, it's because it's not here, so our ears hear it and we like it better. So it all depends on your geographical location and who's popping in your area, to who you're going to follow more. And where I stand in it, I'm my own artist. So I'm not going to change who I am for anybody, but I'm going to do what my fans like and what my fans want to hear. But still.
Now, would you say that the hip-hop in your area is a different type of hip-hop demographic than it is in other parts of the United States based on that?
Yeah, I think that I think the East Coast right now is listening to a lot of down south type flow and trap music and Amigos style music. That's what's trending up here. I think where you like down south, I think that East Coast music and West Coast music is more of a vibe that they're playing down there. I'm just taking that from what I hear from people, but I don't know what's trending over there. What do you guys listen to a lot over there?
Oh, I mean, mainly down here. I know for the most part down here, at least with the local rap artists that I'm, familiar with and I'm friends with and stuff. It is a lot of the trap music. It is a lot of the what they would consider dirty South gangster rap. They got the big heavy bass tones in the background. The other thing is trending down here, I guess, would be, dubstep's making a big kind of filter in the background with a little bit of electronic kind of music and things of that nature. But, it's funny because we do have all that down here. But, you guys are listening to what's coming from down here. We're listening to what's coming from the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard so much about what's going on up north, and it's really amazing. Ray's been a great outlet as far as people down here, bringing the north and start bringing you guys south, and it's really amazing. He's from Connecticut. I'm from Vermont, and I've got a lot of friends up there that are like yourself, and and it's really neat because what you guys are doing up in New England, I feel is completely different than what anybody else is doing across the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, originality.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I like doing the type of music I do, and even my publicist, he wants me to do that Amigos type style. Since I'm Caucasian, since I'm white, I'll fit in crazy down there, but I don't like. To me, I feel like it's dumbing down my flow, my style to do stuff like that. Don't be wrong, I can hop on any type of beat and make it my own, but that type of trap music type flow, type style, I don't really do too much.
You know what's weird is I used to rhyme like years ago, and they used to tell me, I sound too white, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to sound like,
Yeah. They always ask me if being white is a game changer or how it affects me, but I don't think it's affected me at all or put a damper on anything as far as the hip hop industry.
Well, I think what's so neat about it is being white and being into hip hop is like being a left-handed pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It's probably given me an advantage, especially in marketability, in obtaining sponsors and stuff. Like I'm trying to obtain a sponsor right now with Ciroc, trying to become a Ciroc boy. So shout out to Ciroc. We just did a Ciroc photo shoot. So, we're pushing for stuff like that.
All right.
And it's really neat that you say that because, going from rap and going into rock, I don't know if you've heard of Seven Dust before, but they haven't put out an album in 10 years, but yet everybody still goes to their show. Their lead singer's black. And they've been putting out albums now for the better part of 15 years. And how many other, rock groups do you see that are like that? You know what I'm saying? And so, having that difference, I believe is an advantage. And the fact that you agree is a pretty big deal. And, it's really amazing to hear, the music that you're putting out. And it really is, you're kind of cutting it back, like you said, the different artists that you kind of relate yourself to. And I've heard,
You're breaking up a little, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, we hear you better now.
Kind of hard to talk doing 80 miles an hour while you're going down the road. But I mean, like you brought up Twister, man. I heard some Buster in there too. I mean, it's hard to be able to flow and be able to go that fast. I mean, that's amazing.
All right, well, we lost him. It was that amazing, huh?
Hopefully he slowed down and he wasn't going too fast.
Exactly. So I do have to give a shout-out to Rick DeMichelle, though.
Hey, I told you I was doing 80 and driving down the road. Cut me off.
Hey, I was saying something. You cut me off.
Yeah.
But I do need to give a shout out to Rick DeMichelle and whatnot. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have been able to have such a talented artist on the show. Not to say that the other artists we have had are not as talented, because everybody is in their own way.
Absolutely, man.
Definitely shout out to Rick. That's my manager right there. He's definitely doing big things for me coming up, and I wouldn't be able to do without him.
So here's what I think. In order to be a true hip hop star or an artist, you have to be able to be ready to go at any moment. Would you agree?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Everything has to be drop of a dime, because you never know. In the entertainment business, you can get a phone call today, say, let's go pack your bags, go to Cali, got to do something here, got to do something there. You can't have, you can't be tied down.
All right.
I agree. That's kryptonite to 90% of the people that's out there. And
you have to have a budget saved up too, because who knows? Sometimes you're not getting paid for it till you get somewhere, or you gotta have travel expenses for yourself, and you have to have a budget, especially as an independent artist. You need one hell of a budget. So having a budget is key, and you gotta be able to spend money on yourself. If you don't spend money on yourself, who else is gonna?
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
All right. Now, for the ladies out there, are you currently single?
I am. Yep.
Where we come from down here, you know what single means, don't you?
What's that?
SINGLE. We stay intoxicated nightly while getting laid every day.
There you go.
That sounds pretty good to me. That sounds pretty good.
No, man, but it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, Ray. I appreciate you letting me on, and this is absolutely great, man. I hope the best for you. I mean, you're hitting in the right spot, and the fact that people are picking up on you, that's what matters. If people didn't care, they didn't like what you're doing, they wouldn't touch you. And you're at this point, you're more or less, a local town headliner. Would you not consider yourself that way?
Yeah.
That's the key, man. That's the key. I just keep walking that road. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
All right. Before we let you go, though, is there any way you can spit for us?
You want me to spit?
Yeah, I love to hear an artist, just off the top of their head, just go.
All right. Bar for bar, there's no contestant. Every line's like a lethal weapon. When I spit, I don't need deception. Deadly like lethal injection. Haters talk, but they don't listen. Judgment's judged with no ambition. In addition, no permission needed to devour the competition. Take the ink with the pen and devour the pattern. The words that I said and unravel a path. Leveling anyone dumb enough that is oblivious and undermining my rap. I'm the medicine, and if anyone choose to carry the vital, I'm telling them I'm apprehending. I'm tying them up in a settling, traveling in, and their body is numb. Times are tough, I understand. Mirror in hand, now watch your mouth. Best believe I don't fear no man. I'm the type to go another route. Voices in my head, they telling me to let it go, but I don't see another option. I'm a murder every flow. I don't play nice. If I came like with a bayonet to your ear, slitting your vein right in the same night, ripping every strand of your hair. Teeth next, pliers in your mouth to unidentify the body that I'm bagging up and tying in the trunk of my 98 with a Bago plastic blind, and it's a mark to start the murder speed, and I'm going on, and my haters are where I start, and I don't need to leave a signature, motherfucker. I'm too smart. Gasoline up in my backseat, and my breath will be the spark. Got a canister, willing to banister, feeling he found on the banister. I wasn't there, and here is my alibi. I will comply, will never deny that my bars don't lie. Sicker than wine, flew with the mind, devastating one blow at a time. Ripping a line, the white girl arm straight as and everyone killing these rhymes. S is for distinction, on the belt, no alteration. All right.
Nice.
Damn, dude, I got one more question for you.
Yeah, I got you.
You need anybody to carry your bags?
Anytime I head down there, man, I'm going to send you an invite, and we definitely got to link up.
Oh, for real, man. Hey, you come down here, if you know, you go down to Atlanta, man, I'm not kidding. You're only about 2.5 hours outside of Knoxville. You swing on up this way, man. We'll get you taken care of.
Exactly.
Definitely. You know, when we do the Faded Tour, we plan on hitting Tennessee is one of the states we plan on hitting, right? We plan on hitting Tennessee, Atlanta, Florida, everything down there. It's going to be me, Dante Contrell, and Elijah Richards, you know, and we're going to be heading down there. So don't worry, I'm going to let you guys know we're going to link up when we get there.
Well, you know, if you play a show out in Knoxville, be sure to stop by the studio. You're not far.
Absolutely.
No. If you come back, if you go down to Florida first, and you go to Atlanta, if you're coming back, you're going to have to get on Interstate 40 before you hit 81, which means you got to drive right by us to go home, man.
We'll be there, man. We'll be there. Don't worry. You can count on it.
All right. I hate to put you on the spot, but I love your music so much. Is there any way possible, I mean, you're a huge star, that we could get a signed CD from you?
Absolutely. Send Rick your send him an email with the address, and I'll shoot you guys over some stuff.
I appreciate it. We appreciate it so much. So did you have fun on 2 Local Radio?
I had a blast. You guys are awesome. Shout out to 2 Local Radio. It's your boy Sinergyst. Hit me up. Let's rock.
All right. Well, that is Sinergyst. Do you have any last words before you get out of here? Because I know you're pretty busy.
I just want to shout out Rick Michael. Want to shout out Fortified Records. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Shout out my producers, PD3, FDX, and all my fans. I love y'all.
All right. Well, you have yourself a great night, Sinergyst.
You too. Thanks for having me out.
All right. You take care.
Man, we'll holler at you, man.
Be safe.
All right. Well, this is Ray Ray.
This is B-Fence.
It's been fun, but every good thing has to end at some point. Join us tomorrow for Chelsea Kreitz. She was on the CMAs this past Monday doing autographs and out in Nashville. All right, everybody have a good night.